3, 2, 1, and we're live. Sam and Michael. I'm just thinking we should just quickly review of the client meeting. It's the first one we've done in about 3 weeks. Anyway, we've got a lot of tickets greened up, which is good. We've got some things deployed. I guess the key thing I wanted to, so that Rachel was asking again about some mechanism for keeping the site up to date with the charity database. So I guess what I can do is stick a vote on that using the async voting bot. So this is update. Let's call this sync with. You had a look at the files that they were downloading, or the files that they were making available, right? Do you remember? So like the charity commission has these.
Oh.
Yeah. Like in like some Microsoft format.
Like I'm aware of them. Yeah.
Yeah. A while ago.
Look deeply into them.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, what we'd love is, of course, you know, there's lots of exciting things to do on LocalSupport if people were funding us to do them. So one thing, I just want to get the vote on that.
So they want to create a script to update charity information.
Yeah, I think as time goes by and we get more and more out of date, Rachel's keen to kind of, you know, she's seeing that we do this updating with the Do It.
So,
and she's asking, why can't we do that with the charity commission? And it's, you know, they don't have an API, but they do have these now semi-regular files coming down. So presumably one could write a script that would extract the necessary information from them.
Right. I mean, there's a lot involved with how exactly that works.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the thing that I want to do is just get that, you know, we don't have to go into it now, is get it voted on. I mean, it'd probably be a 3. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but and then it's on the backlog, and then interested parties could get involved in it.
You're doing an async vote, or?
Yeah, I started one in the channel. So I mean, unless that was something that was particularly interesting to you now, we wouldn't need to focus on it particularly. Well, why did I see that?
I'm the wrong person.
Okay.
The channel and the bot have similar names.
Okay, right. Yeah, we might want to. I mean, I'd love to turn greet a bot. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We've got some new people in async vote. Hello to. Welcome to Knowles and Robert's Cram. Guessing that up the project. Okay. It's interesting that somebody joining a channel is not a more, like, it's kind of, there's no notification. You basically have to go to a channel and notice it anyway. So I guess what did I do with all the charity? No, we didn't. Anyway, so this was the meeting. That was the meeting. Yeah, we've managed to close out some bugs down there. Right, I promised I was going to send a.
Well, I imagine you could create a bot that is in a channel, right? And then listens for there's probably some kind of event or message.
I think there is a what the fuck is it called now?
And then it could
there's a channel join event, and you could have the thing. I mean, we could have. Yeah, absolutely.
The bot could listen for that,
right, and then say, "Oh, hey, you know." I mean, a lot of the things that I'm spending time doing on, we could automate away, and then we'd have more time preparing. Yes. I'll just this.
Like a greeter bot or something, right?
Right. I mean, and the.
But we don't have any more bots.
Right, but actually, I don't know that we need them, because the thing that I worked out is that you can replace the bot ID if you run the system with the API token for the Slack instance. It just posts as you, or it posts as me. So we could have it so that it actually looked like I was just doing my usual business, but
Would it say bot next to it or whatever?
It wouldn't even say bot next to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And can it listen to events?
Yes, it can. I mean, I did a test, and we could in fact have the whole Slack, the async voting thing being done as if I was personally running it, but then it's kind of confusing and it comes into my channel. I think it would be better to set up a separate bot that's a greeter bot that runs separately but uses that API token and sort of pretends to be me and then does the greeting. Just so this one thing here. I read your.
I
Go on.
Researched a little yesterday in terms of middleman in React.
Oh yeah.
And someone has published a middleman. Well, they've published a starter template for middleman with gulp.
Mm-hmm.
Like middleman gulp or whatever.
Okay. That pulls in all the necessary React stuff.
Well, out of the box it doesn't, but it's in principle possible, I guess, to take that and then because it has the gulp front end, right?
Yeah.
So it's then possible to like use the internet to set up React, basically, because React can be set up with gulp. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It's basically like setting up. It's like using middleman, but using gulp to manage like the JS and stuff instead of middleman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they've set that part up for you already.
Right.
And then you would just set up the gulp build process, like the tasks, to allow you to pull in React and do all the pipelining and stuff.
Right. And so it's not,
and then you could potentially have
React. It could be set up so that you could pull in whatever is needed.
Yeah.
I'm getting a nasty echo. I'm just going to rejoin.
Okay.
Okay. I lose my thing.
I think that's kind of the pattern that people are using now is like you'll find blog posts like gulp and React or gulp. You'll find like blog posts that are like gulp and Rails or gulp and middleman or gulp and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like these frameworks or whatever that have had their own asset systems. And then there's blog posts or gems or whatever, basically templates or libraries or just blog posts on how to set it up that like out of the box let you you know use gulp to manage your front end assets with those traditional systems. And then it's just a matter of knowing how to plug React into gulp, you know, or whatever, because like the point I think is that the node world talks about like the node world. It's very easy to find a lot of posts about gulp and like some technology in Node. Relatively easy. And all the latest JavaScript stuff is in NPM, which is accessible from gulp.
Right.
And like, so basically giving it out of the box to like run whatever whatever kind of like traditional app combined with Gulp for the front end.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just whatever you want.
Right, and that could be React or Angular or any whatever.
Yeah,
JavaScript that you
whatever
want,
you want, basically, out of the JavaScript world. Or these newer. There's even newer stuff than Angular, and forget the name of it. Aurelia or whatever. That's like one of the newer, hotter ones. Have you heard of that?
No. And what's great about Aurelia?
I don't know. It's just supposed to be great.
Okay.
Like better than Angular. It's two-way binding. So that's kind of like Angular, but it's like two-way binding, like Nirvana or whatever. I don't know. Like whatever gripes people had with Angular, like the evangelists are saying, oh, well, you won't have those issues with Aurelia because it's like Nirvana. They probably don't mention that you'll have a completely different set of issues, but
yeah. Okay, so let's redo everything in Aurelia immediately. I'm inspired. Boom. Okay.
Everything in Aurelia. I mean, it's the hottest.
Yeah. I mean, I just want heat. Yeah, I wanna. Well, let's tech talk. Let's say here.
Yeah, on the bleeding edge.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I've. I guess go on.
As soon as anything gets tooling or support, just abandon it.
Oh God, yeah. We As
soon as it becomes too easy.
No, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Bam, 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 bam. So I'm just going to put it here. I followed up with Maron about that. This is done. Okay. All right. That was done. Oh God, I haven't created that feature. Okay, let's make sure so the Dree stuff is all fine. So the other reason to start on local support is at the moment we've got some kind of basically all of the pull requests are. Some of them I think had not working stuff anyway. Let's just look through these. Okay. So this one, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's CodeClimate. So that's a separate issue. This one's a norms thing from yesterday. It's breaking. This is what he's pushed up those things. So he came in yesterday. Let's just grab. I just kind of feeling like there are people maybe blocked moving forward on local support. What I'm in my brain that compresses time, I'm imagining that we might conceivably start on that paper integration thing that we voted on yesterday, and get it out of the way so quickly that we could then move on to doing something fun with that async voter. Or would it be better to start a spike of the greeter bot and put that on another AWS instance anyway? Okay, so that's what he's on. This one, so I gave Marcelo some feedback, and he's got it, and so he's all right. And then who was this from? Oh, this is my reworking of. This is my reworking of, or our reworking of Anar's thing that we were working on yesterday. And then this is now, where is this failing? This is failing on. I thought we removed. This is like, the volunteer ops spec.
There's one. It's not the spec. It's actually the controller.
Right.
I saw this error yesterday.
Oh yeah. But I thought
There's
we removed everything
one
cool and get.
location. If you go to that line, it still has.
Oh, there's a trailing get, is there? Has that
Yeah.
just been my ridiculous?
Yeah.
So I'm on master there. So what branch is that? So I think Anar is ready to move on from this one. Check out this one. The head of the Anar one, and we've got an origin one. Okay, there's a lot of other things here. Okay, yeah, so you're sitting here. The controller still has, so somewhere we've got a, it's there, so this should be just not that. So there's supposed to be a way of quickly rerunning just all the failing ones. That looks like that works.
Oh, create React app. Okay. Yeah, I noticed that the create React app.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Yeah. You notice that the create React app?
Yeah, in the async voter. It was interesting. I noticed that they're using this npm module that quickly sets up basically a React app.
Mm-hmm.
Create React app.
Mm-hmm.
That Facebook set up.
Mm.
I was going to say, I think from Gulp, there's usually some way to actually set environment variables in your build process.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking at I think it's like it's this. Look at that, I just posted the link to it. Like you can stick. I mean, that's for Webpack. I mean, God, there's so many different.
I mean, process.env. Whatever. That assumes you're, well, right, it has to be in your build process. It's assuming you're on Node, building with Node,
Yeah.
right? To insert those values. So I guess how does create React app alt file, or what does it do? Just
the React, when you do npm run on the React thing, it like starts like a little node app for you, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Have I got async loader?
I'm asking, like, how does it, maybe, I'm wondering how it works, like, let me just.
Oh, this is the scripts. It's got like, if you do npm start here, it's like React script starts. I guess React dist lib, and whether those scripts exist, but yeah, it basically it runs a little server for you. And I don't know if that's meant for anything other than just testing.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I have fixed up this. This is, which one is this one? This one. So I think I fixed up this one. We'll see if this one works. I'll just ask Anar, happy for me to merge this in, or did you want to? So Anna's got a better link than I have. Anyway, did you want to? Anyway, so that hopefully that will work. Then we've got a separate issue for norm, which is then on this other branch here. Because that's running there in the background. But so yeah, should we try and work on this story we voted on website 1 yesterday? I guess I should look at the, if we are looking at website 1, then according to my metrics, we should be looking at the
board.
Or we should look at the pull requests. So this is, I think, is this now all completely done? What's done here? I guess I just had this one last question.
So do you
about,
have,
go on.
You have your, what is it called?
The beta starter meeting later on. Yeah, in 2 hours from now.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's that trivial thing here where I could just add. There's this. That's that one. Yes.
What?
I'm just talking to Aresh in the channel there. What I was going to say here is this. I mean, I've already given Matt quite a lot of feedback on this particular pull request, and I think there's this kind of like changes. There's this sort of comment fatigue that I think people can potentially get into, where it actually may be better for me to just push in the particular change that I'm suggesting, rather than getting him to make it himself,
Right.
in order to sort of move on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so this there, actually, so that is now all green for me locally. That's so. If I check out this one, full norm here. So now there's some sort of issues being encountered there, which you can maybe come on to. I guess. Yeah, so it comes down to, I should probably either just merge this, or if I care strongly enough about it, I should make the change. And I feel like I can make it, and then we get a much cleaner board. So it's this one, and Matt Lindsay's working directly in there. Git, let's check out develop, git pull origin develop. I can't spell. And okay, and so what is this stuff that I've got lying around on here? That was just our that was our like playing around from yesterday. Right there. And that means we've got everything from there. Ooh, about version 4. So I think the only thing I'm thinking that would be sensibly changed, I'll find the right place, which is here in user steps on line 410. Definitions, user steps, that is LocalSupport. This is website 1. Features, step definitions, user steps. 410. On the testing ribbon, there's a nice integration, isn't there? For anyway, here, we should. I should not exist to the user, and then we've got the other thing, which is find user with deleted. Oh, hey, oh, really mine. Go on with you. Do that. Mine. Okay. Come on to auto LocalSupport. In the background, we are identifying the issue. So this is the issue being encountered here. Now I think this is I think related to something we've done with that prepend before action. So that's organization controller spec 457. Got these bloody controller specs. Organization control spec. I'm looking at the wrong thing again. I'm back in website 1. Okay. Specs. Controllers. Organization control spec. Oh, it's ridiculous. Like 400. What was it? 457. There's a definite smell. There we go. So we've got, I guess, what is that even in context while not signed in? This is like doing, it's attempting to do an update when the user is not signed in and we're expecting it to redirect to the new session path. And I guess what's happening there is because we're prepending that before filter, it's trying to look up the organization before we have that thing happen. And I wonder if that means that
in the app, how does that manifest itself?
Well, I don't know that it manifests it at all. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I think in the app how it would manifest is that basically it would be in the situation where authorization is not granted, it will now do a, it'll hit the database to get the active record entity.
Right, but.
And it fails here just because, we haven't set up, that record in the database.
So what is the actual error?
The actual error that it's getting here is that this record is not found. It couldn't find the organization with ID 1.
And it's also got a get error on the get too. Go up.
It's got a get error
on the get.
Yeah. I think in both of these are related to the situation where it's not signed in, right?
So,
and so
on the website, right, let me just show you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to the live website, right? Is there actually an edit button?
Yeah, if you have permission, you can go to the, you can be on an organization and you can say, I want to edit it.
Maybe there was at one point an edit
button. Yeah, well, and even if there isn't, it's like, you're checking that people can't access that endpoint independently of that. Certainly, right, I think I'm fairly sure the edit button's not there when you're not signed in.
So it would be like
somebody trying to
organizations edit, right? Like that?
Yeah, if you just hack the URL.
Huh.
What does it say? What does it
say? Sign in.
Did I probably slash on the end? Just remove the. No, I think that organizations. Is it edit there or is it edit afterwards? I forget for the roots. Well, it may be that we can't even actually get to that point because it does. It's not. Is it then that thing and then slash edit at the end?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. So if someone goes to that in your current version, it'll just crash.
No, I don't think so, because I mean, it depends. If the ID like is actually matches something that's in the system, then it will work. But potentially it will like, it depends how that error is handled in the main system. I mean, I can.
So you think if I do like organizations, blah blah blah, edit, this will still sign it?
Yeah, on the live system. I mean, this stuff we're looking at now is not
live.
But
if you just fire up your app,
yeah,
I guess you're not really interested in figuring out what this really means.
Well, I think I know what it really means. I might be wrong, of course. In my mind, I've got a fairly clear picture of exactly how it's working. Of course, I've been wrong before. But so here, I mean, if we take an entity like this and I put /edit on it, then it goes there. If we back that up and we put something else,
like something that doesn't exist,
right?
And put an edit, it will fail with an internal server.
505, yeah.
So that's the behavior.
So I mean, it's not ideal, and basically that's because for the organizations controller, we've now said basically even before the process of I guess is it and that redirection is actually, it's this authentication step.
So do we feel like this controller test has brought any value or no?
Well, potentially it has, in that there's an error there that we don't have an acceptance test looking at. At least, well, what I also don't know is whether the acceptance tests are passing or not at the moment. Just because when they run in CI, it stops after failures in the RSpec. I mean,
I wonder.
Go on.
What happens on the live system if you put in something that doesn't exist and then it tells you to sign in and it just says, "Oh, that doesn't exist"?
Well, what I imagine would happen, like, so on my local system, it's running in development mode. I imagine that this, if we had this code in production, then what would happen is that it would give us an error page, but not that thing. If you know what I mean.
Thing? It would say
what I just got there was I got the full stack trace or whatever.
It would give us a 500 error.
Yeah, it would give us some kind of something like on the server.
Right now with the live version, I'm wondering what it does. It just probably says that organization doesn't exist.
So, sorry, what are you wondering? Say again. You're wondering what it does in which version? In your version?
No, in the live version.
In the live version, the live version, I don't think it actually even gets to that. Like if you're not logged in. Oh, and you're wondering, like, in the live version,
if you then actually go through and log in, what does it do? That's what I'm wondering.
Having tried to edit a
non-existent organization,
right?
Yeah. Maybe it doesn't really matter.
Well, we could find out.
Oh, because you have a login, right?
Right. So if we try to go to this one and we try to, so this is an existing organization. We can then try and sign in as somebody who would have access to it. So then it takes us to that edit page. If we sign out and we go to a non-existent,
like it doesn't exist or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. So we go edit. We then try and sign in. It's going to say page not found.
Which is more graceful than a 500 internal server, I guess.
Yeah. And it's usually something that it would be, yeah. So then that seems not unreasonable. I mean, so we get, all right, and so we actually get, Which is which? That's a custom. So we get a different kind of error at the. Does that work? Yeah. We get a different kind of error. Okay, right. And so we do actually have, so we have a test for this situation when someone tries to go to like a random thing, and we've got a test that's saying like we should get that for a forward page not found behavior, but we don't get that. Presumably it's now getting a 500 error. I would guess. So I mean, I think actually that kind of test, that kind of controller spec, where it's checking the endpoints, is potentially of value. I think it's still difficult to read. I think it would be easier to interpret if it was in a cucumber thing. Of course, it's about the running time of these things. I mean, I guess the question is, should we now, for example, as a possible solution to it, is have the authentication take place before the organization is set?
Maybe. Yeah.
And it might fix it. It might also introduce additional errors. Oops. What? Okay, so that doesn't fix that error unless the authentication's happening on a. I have, what am I doing? Oh, if I run that one here, okay.
All right, so we're looking at.
I ran the. It didn't fix the cucumber spec. Maybe the cucumber is some different kind of issue. I'm just trying to run. Yeah, no. So that my attempted fix has not removed the error. Go on.
Branch are we on right now?
We're on this norms 132571845. Good default
Why
tags.
Is it passing on CI?
I don't know that it is.
It says green on CI.
Let's see. No, this one here is green. Norm's one is not green here.
Are we trying to fix his PR?
Yep.
Well, why don't you just tell him? Like, aren't they the same thing basically, except our version versus his?
No. I mean, he pulled in the changes that we made, right? But then the changes, like, there was a different error that he has also fixed, and this is now like a combination of his code and our code from yesterday.
Together have created.
It's now got this sort of deeper issue related to the approach that we've taken. And I mean, what I'm thinking is that there's a kind of, we're getting this error because it's attempting to find these.
So what has he done? Like, what has he done in his branch that now conflicts with what we've done?
No, he hasn't done anything in his branch. I think we introduced this problem, right, by using the prepend, and it fixed certain things, but now other tests that we didn't run have failed. That if we'd run the complete test suite on the stuff that we were doing, we would have seen them.
Well, I think we're going around in circles here because that's what I was getting at. Well, if you look at what you just pushed with missed this, it's saying green.
Yeah, that's Anar's pull request.
No. That's the one you just opened yesterday.
Yeah, it's well, trust me, that is, if you look at the commits,
Okay,
you'll see the majority of them are anars. So that one, like, there was 2 pull requests with failing issues that we needed to address, right? Both of which are related to changes that we've made yesterday, right? So we've dealt with one of them, right? That's now green. That's out of the way. Then there remains this one from Norm, where we kind of helped him solve one aspect of the problem with the pull request.
Oh, right. Okay.
And we're now, like, I mean, the interesting thing here to me is this: we're getting these failures. Organizations controller. They're both. Is it specifically an organizations controller and not in volunteer ops controller? But so this is in the set organization here. Is that this friendly find is not failing silently? It's kind of, we're getting this active record not found error. I thought that normally, if we just do organization find like this, it wouldn't throw an error. It would just give us a nil.
Right?
But that seems like that what's happening here is that friendly find is throwing an error if it can't find that thing.
Let me see. Friendly.
Yeah. So I think this is the fix. In the short
What did you do?
I basically put rescue nil on the end of these.
Oh.
The friendly find, these things here. So I think that will fix it. And I think that's kind of, I mean, we're using a friendly gem. I mean, that's a kind of a weird, it seems to me that, I wonder if someone else has marked this, like, we've got phrase error. I wonder if someone else would an exclamation mark. No, I mean, I might just open it. Find raises.
People commenting on something like this.
Have you?
On the family ID gem.
Have you? Can you find that? Can you find, if you can find that, that maybe stop me opening a additional PR that I don't need.
Post it in the G chat, something like that. Yeah. I mean, it's related to it. This guy's using find by ID, and he's saying it's
right.
Oh, he's saying friendly find is throwing an error, which is our issue.
Yeah. So it looks like somebody closed this.
What did they say about it? They didn't close it.
I thought it said a parent closed this on September 25th.
Without a comma. So that's, oh, there it is, mock deep.
But this is a closed issue. So, I mean, basically he's saying, like, use the try thing.
But people are saying the try thing doesn't work.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, I mean, I would say here, I agree with Mockdeep. Friendly seems to be using find differently from AR. In AR, find will just return nil if the model is missing. and find exclamation mark will raise an error. It would prevent confusion if friendly ID followed the same convention. I mean, that in some ways, though, there's a commenting on a closed issue. I wonder if it would be better to open a new issue there. But anyway, okay. But I think we don't want to get. So I've got over here. Now the interesting thing is accepted. So that seems to have fixed the issue for the spec, but not for the Qt. Ah, okay. We've got somewhere else. That's weird. So it's still delivering the 500 internal server error on organization's foobar. Interesting. If I try this, if I got it running locally. Okay, so it's getting. I mean, I guess how was it picking up the 404 previously? I mean, it's now going to give a 500 error in this situation where, okay, the organization has been set to nil. We have a place where we go and look for that organization. Huh. I mean, we're trying to visit this. We want it to be 404 page not found. How are we supposed to be triggering the 404 page not found? I guess is that done through the application controller? I don't know what I'm not sure what criteria leads to the. We've got these somewhere, haven't we? Like we've got this 404 page. Like what's the thing that causes Rails to throw a 404? I guess.
Do we have some gem that does it?
You think?
Maybe.
Ah, okay. But so maybe. I mean, if we. I'm still a little bit confused about the sequence of what's going on here, because we're coming in. This is just trying to get to a show page. We're running this set organization. I mean, we could have it. Oh, damn it. Bleh.
Is that the right thing to do in every circumstance, or?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think that's maybe it hasn't rendered our 404 page.
Why don't you just rescue nil and then do a try and see if it gets around it for right now?
Do a try.
to do a try where it's crashing.
Well, it's the place that it's. I mean, the funny thing is that I guess I feel like what we've ended up doing is we've inserted this somehow before the place where it would normally have got to the 404. That's weird. I mean, this is gonna, you know, it's gonna like have issues in other, like basically if organization ID is nil here, then it should render the 404 template.
Yeah, but it's crashing, right? Because you're invoking a nil organization.
Right.
Unless organization, right? Wow.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's still getting that. It's going to be true. This is just for show, isn't it? This is a visit organizations foobar.org. Huh. Is it? Am I just going completely nuts? Is it actually hitting this thing at all? Yes. And so in this situation, we've got organization is nil. So if I do next, yeah, but it's, the funny thing there is that render status 404, it's going into an exception. Rather than,
I mean, I don't know. I've never seen that used in the wild that way.
oh no. And I feel like we're missing some piece of the, I mean, the status 404. Yeah, well, I guess what frustrates me here is I don't know how it's. We've got this 404 page that we render under certain circumstances. Okay, so that's. But so my attempt to render a status 404 here has still led to like a 500 internal server error. That's that one there. Let's see. I mean, in this mode, oh, it's going to hit by bug again in the controller there. Yeah, all right, continue. What? Okay, so there's like some, it's still trying to render the template. It's trying to render like the show template. Oh, how does Rails with the force? Rails public folder 404 template. There we go. Rails custom error pages for 404. What on earth? Non-stupid digest assets.
There's a pair. Wow.
How to render them with site layouts.
Old.
What I don't understand is like how we're managing to render the 404. Like in the current version of the system, I guess it's really not related to any of these other filters that we have.
You tried raising this action controller routing error?
Yeah, yeah, it didn't
work. Are we sure it didn't work?
Let's go back to. I'm fairly sure it didn't work. I mean, I raised it from, we had the set organization, instead of rescuing nil, I raised it. I mean, this rendering with the status of the 404 doesn't seem to be.
It's going to render the template, so that's the problem.
Well, rendering the template would be fine, but it's not doing that. Like if we look at this error message here, this is saying that it's having a problem putting in the search form from the, but that's being pulled in by the show template. So it's like,
I mean, I guess it's trying to render the show template, right?
Right, but I would have hoped that if I render 404, right,
no,
that it wouldn't then go on and render the show template.
No, it does. That's the problem with that solution.
Well, that's what it would appear. I mean, it seems. I mean, I thought there was a way. It used to be a way in Rails to avoid. I'll get rid of that buy box statement. Come on. Yeah. It would almost seem there, like.
I feel like we're burning a lot of time on this. So.
Well, I agree.
And we're kind of going around in circles.
I hear that you feel we're going around in circles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I feel like you're just kind of doing things in it.
Well, I think what I've done is I've now managed to get it to render this 404 page.
Mm. What did you do?
What I did was, having searched for rendering Rails 404, I found this Stack Overflow post, which, as well as including the status 404, also included to specify that the file that should be rendered is the 404 page.
It's kind of different from the look that we have right now.
It is different. Yes, I agree. So we've got this one is page not found, and then this looks more like, yeah, it's funny. I mean, I wonder, maybe are we even maybe not using the 404 things like this one? Yeah, so this is actually the 404, but the 404 that we're getting here on the main system, that's actually different.
Mm-hmm.
Have we got that anywhere? So we've also, right, so we've got two sets of 404 things. So we've got a static pages 404, and we've got 404s in the public. That's confusing. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
So I guess the key question that I have is, how is it raising the 404 before?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like previously that somehow, if we look at this, which is like the live site, it seems to be managing to raise the static page 404.
Well, what I would suggest doing is switching to develop and running that scenario that's failing on this branch, and putting a debugger in, and then walking through it and seeing how it works.
I think that's what we were seeing on this branch. It's going to that was what we were doing, and we were seeing it going to a 500 error instead.
Yeah, on this branch, I want to see how it works, like the way that it should work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do that on your? I mean, we're going to have to stop for the scrum in a second. Do you want to do that on yours? I was just going to go here.
Which is the scenario?
The scenario is this one. It's features custom error pages. My doorbell's just gone as well. I'll see you in the scrum.